Millan session. Somebody raised a question. I thought the answer for that question I should share with everyone. So I converted that question answer of yesterday into today's Maitri Millan. It is also connected with the 4 streams of yoga, especially Raja Yoga. Connected with us about the Panchakosha, I thought let me share a few ideas. Next one. Basically, human being is a complex personality. For a long time, the modern medicine thought human being to be physical. But then later on, Sigmund Freud came onto the scene. He said he is not just physical. Human being is a complex of not only the physical body, soma, but the mind, psyche. Both these things interact, interplay. Psychosomatic problems or somato-psychic issues. Therefore, they have also come up with what is called as the mind-body medicine. Hardcore scientists does not accept, but a few here and there scientists like Deepak Chopra, Dean Arnish, Fridtjof Capra, these are the people who started saying that man is not just only physical body, prana, mind, but also he is what is called as consciousness. But then way back Indian philosophy looked at human being at 5 different personality levels. And what the practices that we do for yoga belongs to all these 5 personality levels. That is what I thought that we will understand. When the modern science found it difficult to go beyond the body and mind, the soma and psyche, how Indian philosophy could look into much deeper level? The answer for that is the method of inquiry that they have adapted. The modern medicine looked at the human being from outside. When you look at from outside, what you see, physical body. But a bit of imagination gives us an idea that there is something which is unmanifest, hidden behind it. So that is what they thought to be mind, which is influencing the body. But the Indian philosophy looked at human being from within. That's why it is called as tapas. It is called as Atma Pariksha. Look into yourself. Now, I cannot look into anybody else from within. I can only look into myself from within. That's why it is called as Swarupa Pariksha or Atma Pariksha. I look into myself. This is what the discussion that goes on between Bhrigu and Varuna in Taittiriya Upanishad. Try to find out for yourself. Tapasa Brahma Vijijñāsasva Tapo Brahmeti. Try to understand by looking into yourself. Now, you don't really have to go to Upanishad because you can look into yourself and you can find out for yourself. Bhrigu, there is a common person like any of us. So, Bhrigu's experiences match with any of us. That means to say, these details that Bhrigu works out, Panchakosha, it has to be related to the common man's experience. It's not something that you sit in meditation, you go some deeper level, then you find out there is something like a deeper kosha, deeper level. No, it is from day-to-day experience because you are always there as a common man. Now let us try to proceed how this discussion must have gone in the real life terms. So the moment that the teacher Varuna says to Bhrigu, go and find out for yourself and let me know. Probably he might have gone and then looked at himself, came back. Soon he said, I am this physical body. And this physical body, he calls it as Annamaya Kosha. As long as this physical body is here, I am here. Physical body is not here, I am not here. It's very simple. Annamaya Kosha. And whenever Annamaya Kosha is here, I am here. Annamaya Kosha is not there, I am not there. But then the teacher says, find out further. This is where interesting discussion starts. It is not sufficient to have the physical body, but there must be something else which might be driving from within the physical body, and that's what you are. Like hands themselves do not move. A physical body called hands do not move. It must have something like a life force behind it. There is some energy, there is some force which is moving the hand. And that energy, that is what is called as prana. We walk because of prana, we talk because of prana. It is not just physical body sufficient. As long as this physical body has this prana within, I am there. The moment physical body, prana is gone out of it, I am not there. We all know that. In fact, a person dies, probably he came across a dead person. People are sitting around that crying. The student might have asked, why are you crying? The person is no more. Why do you say no more? In fact, you look at everything. Physical body is there, hands are there, legs are there, eyes are there, everything is there. Everything was there, but an hour ago, prana has gone, life force has gone, so he is not there. So as long as life force is here, you are here. Once it is gone, you are gone. So what are you? You are basically the life force. Where the life force is not there, you are not there. When the life force is gone, you are gone. That's a very simple idea. Once the life force is gone, this body is worth burying and burning. Nothing beyond that. It is no more of usefulness. The body is useful as long as the prana is there, as long as you are there. So what are you? You are the prana. Not only in the body, when the prana is gone, even within this body where the prana is not there, you are not there. Even within this body where the prana is not there, you are not there. Like your nails, prana is not there. That's why you clip the nails, it doesn't hurt you. But while clipping the nails, you touch the skin, you start complaining about it. Similarly, hair, where you are not there. Cut the hair, clip the hair, nothing matters. But why it is like that? Because prana is not there. We know that. It's our own experience. But look at the amount of money that we spend, money and time in maintaining hair and nails. It's all housekeeping. Nothing to do with us. So what are we? We are the prana. The student is excited, comes back to the teacher, I am the prana. But the teacher says, find out further. That means many times whether the physical body may be there, prana is also there, but you are not there. How? Why? Because you are not the physical body, you are not the prana. These two things what you are using, but you are somebody behind it. And what is that? Your mind. Like many times you are walking on the street, somebody comes across and then says something to you. You didn't even recognize that because your mind is elsewhere. Why? Somewhere in the walking on the street, your own experience in Prashanti when you are doing the DRD, you will be hearing instructions, relax your toes, relax your heels, etc., etc. After a couple of instructions, you don't hear any more instructions coming. Why? Physical body is there, prana is also there, but mind has gone elsewhere. If your mind is here, you are here. Mind is not here, you are not here. As long as mind is here, you are here. I know today in the Maitri Millan, so many people are there because physical body is there, prana is also there, but I don't know whether you are there or not. If mind is not here, you are not here. The student is excited, comes back to the teacher and says, I am the Manu, mind is here, I am here. So if the mind is here, I am here, mind gone away, I am gone. So who am I? I am not the physical body, I am not the prana, but I am the mind using these two parameters. In fact, in Sanskrit, the word man comes from mind. Mananamiti Manushya. Because we have the mind, we are man. Man means human being. The student is excited. He thought really he found out the truth. He came back to the teacher. Excited, he says, I am the Manomaya Kosha. But the teacher is not excited. The teacher says, find out further. Satapotapyata. The teacher is so cruel, he doesn't even give a hint. No, phone a friend or something like that. Nothing like that. He says, come on, find out for yourself. Why? Because your own experience shows that you are not the mind, you are somebody behind the mind. You are somebody subtler than the mind. Somebody who is the boss of the mind. See, you are not the mind, you are the boss of the mind. This is what Adi Shankaracharya says. Mind is like an instrument in your hand and you are the master. How? Don't we know that? If mind goes here and there, don't you tell the mind to come back here? Say you are somebody behind the mind. Like for example, you are preparing for an exam, reading a very serious book. I mean, most of the books on which you give exams are always serious books. Nobody asks you to give an exam on Harry Potter, okay? It's all serious books. And then when you are reading that book, mind goes elsewhere. Suddenly you realize that you are not the mind, you are somebody behind the mind. And the mind is the one which, you are somebody who is ordering the mind. Not only you order the mind, but even a child handles the mind. Child is not mind, child is somebody subtler than the mind. It's our simple daily experience. A simple household experience shows that the mother is sitting with the child and doing the homework. I mean, usually mother doing the homework, not the child anyway. And then in another corner, TV news is going on, and then in between the news, Cadbury advertisement comes, and the fellow comes and hits the ball for a six in a cricket advertisement. I mean, these days all the sixes are hitting only advertisements. Regular matches are forgotten. And then the child goes into the TV, and then the mother says to the child, put your mind here. Because we are studying something, we are doing something, put your mind here. That means mind is something that you put it here. Like that, put the pen here, put the watch here, put the mic here. The same way, put the mind here. That means to say, mind is an instrument in your hand. So logical. You are not the mind. But then the question still remains, but then who are you? If you are not the mind, you must be somebody subtler than the mind, behind the mind. But who are you? A little careful observation shows that you are not the mind, you are somebody behind the mind. And what is that somebody? It's not very difficult. Like in front of you, somebody is doing some calculations and says 3 multiplied by 3 is 6. Immediately your ears become alert and you say, why do you say 3 multiplied by 3 is 6? It is 9. But who said it? If you look at it, you said it. And who is that you who said it? It is the intellectual personality, Vijnanamaya Kosha. You look at all the way carefully, every activity is given by the Vijnanamaya Kosha. Like somebody asks your name, and then you give your name. Who gave the name? It is intellect. The name question and the answer name is something which matches. Who gives that? In fact, how much time did you take to come from Jigni to Prashanti? I said, I just took about 20 minutes of walking. Who said that it is 20 minutes of walking? It is intellect. Every moment you see that you are the intellect and intellect is functioning. Vijnanat eva khalu imani bhutani jayante vijnanena jatani jivanti vijnanam prayanti abhisavishakti iti. We are the Vijnanamaya Kosha. Vijnanena jatani sarvani bhutani jivanti. The whole world is nothing but Vijnana. In fact, all this technology development that you see, it's all because of Vijnana, intellect. If intellect were not to be there, all these buildings, all these riches, all this technology wouldn't have developed. So who are we? We are the intellectual personality. The student is really excited, comes back to the teacher, I am Vijnanamaya Kosha. But the teacher is absolutely undisturbed. He says, find out further. What can be there subtler, deeper than the Vijnana? Vijnana, that is intellect, seems to be everything. But then Upanishads seem to suggest that there is something which is beyond the Vijnana, that means beyond the intellect. In fact, this is where the Upanishad teacher scores higher than whether it is Aristotle or Socrates or Copernicus or all these people, Western philosophers. They stopped at the level of Vijnana, intellect. They have given importance, total importance to Vijnana, and that was the ultimate. But then the Upanishad teacher says something beyond Vijnana. How can there be anything which is beyond Vijnana? Because we identify ourselves with Vijnana. Look at the way that all this recognition is all about the Vijnana. You get the degrees, diplomas, certificates, PhD. It's all based on Vijnana. Even Nobel laureate, Nobel Prize is based on Vijnana. But Upanishads seem to suggest that there is something which is beyond Vijnana and you are that. And how can there be anything subtler, deeper than Vijnana? It's a very simple understanding. Because we identify ourselves with Vijnana. Whatever that Vijnana, intellect is trained, we identify with that. You ask anybody, what are you? He says, I'm an engineer. Because basically his intellect is trained in engineering. So he's an engineer. If your intellect is trained in medicine, you are a doctor. If your intellect is trained in architecture, you are an architect. If your intellect is trained to lie, you are a liar. If you have no intellect, you are a politician. No. That's what we are. How can there be anything subtler, deeper than intellect? But Shankara says, Adi Shankaracharya says, but for the Upanishad, we would not have seen what is beyond the intellect. But once you see how the Upanishad gives that idea, then it looks very simple because it is there in your daily experience. How can there be anything subtler than Vijnana? And that too, you are deeper, subtler than Vijnana. The simple answer for that is, intellect can only advise you. But to follow that advice is your prerogative. You are there beyond that. To take that advice is up to you. You are not intellect. Intellect is only advisor. Advisory capacity. Intellect can only say fire burns you. But to put your hand in the fire or not, it is your decision. It is not intellect's decision. It appears like intellect decision, that's what is illusion. But it is you who take the next step, whether to put your hand in the fire or not. Why do you say that? Look at the smoker. Does his intellect say, does intellect not say that smoking is bad for health? His intellect also says smoking is bad for health. When I was working as an engineer, I had a colleague, brilliant engineer. Any problem he would solve in trice, and that person was given to smoking. He used to light a cigarette every time you take a problem to him. I told him that, look, you are such a brilliant engineer, you are a role model for everybody. Why do you smoke? In fact, engineers are very good in terms of numbers. So I wanted to suggest him, saying that 58% of lung cancers are because of the smoking according to the medical reports. He says, Raghuram, the latest research report shows it is 82%, not 58%. He corrects my intellect. That means to say his intellect also says very strongly, smoking is bad for health. But he still goes for smoking. Why does he go for smoking? Have you ever thought about it? In fact, you don't have to waste your intellect because he has a solution. He has an answer. I went on suggesting him 4 or 5 times, don't smoke. One day he got irritated. In fact, anybody you give any good advice, more than a couple of times, the fellow gets irritated. One day he got irritated, countered me saying that, Raghuram, you always tell me not to smoke. Have you ever smoked? Nobody asked me that question. I was taken aback. I said, no, I never smoked. He said, you see, that's why you advise me not to smoke because you don't know the maja of smoking. See, what guides him is not intellect. What guides him is the maja. And that, if I put it in Sanskrit, Anandatheva khalvimani bhutani jayante. Deep inside, what you are guided by is Ananda. Anandena jatani jivanti. From that Ananda, every activity comes. Look at the simple thing. You are sitting in position, you suddenly change the position. Why did you change it? Now you feel more comfortable. See, Ananda is the one which guides every moment. Unmishan nimishannapi. Moment by moment you are guided by Ananda. Nobody guides you. You are guiding yourself. Therefore, the conclusion is you are Ananda. You are the blissful state. And that's what is responsible for all activities. When you are hungry, you take food. It is the bliss which is guiding you. When your hunger is taken care of, you say, stop it. It is again the Ananda which is guiding you. You are the Ananda. But even then the student is still adamant. He says, no. My experience of Ananda seems to be coming from outside. And you seem to suggest to say that Ananda is my nature. How can that be? Even the object supposed to be giving you happiness appears to be coming from outside, but it is not so. Your very nature is Ananda. Happiness cannot come from outside. How can you say that? A simple experience of the highest state of happiness that we all have is a good, wonderful sleep. Dreamless sleep. There is nothing like mind acting. You are absolutely peaceful. Are you not happy in that dreamless sleep? In fact, we all enjoy sleep. There is nobody who doesn't enjoy sleep. 6 hours, 7 hours every day we go to sleep religiously. If you have greater stamina, 14-15 hours we can manage. And what is the joy that in the sleep state that you get? No object is coming to you to give you joy. No object can add joy to you. Like you are nicely enjoying sleep and somebody plays your choices music and you say, stop that music, let me sleep. Hey, I'm trying to improve your happiness. No music from outside can improve your happiness. Well, the moment that Upanishad student knows, Bhrigu knows that his nature is happiness, he never came back to his teacher. Saisha Bhargavi Varuni Vidya Parame Vyoman Pratishtita. But then, what happens with us? Yes, I can also understand my nature is happiness, but then there is a big danger. The danger is this way. In this creation of God, everything is according to its nature. The rose plant, nature is to give rose flower. The nature of water is to flow downwards, it always flows downwards. The nature of the sun is to rise on the east, he rises on the east. He will not say, I forgot today. Everything is according to its nature, excepting the most wonderful creation of God, whose nature is happiness, perpetually unhappy. See, look at the unfortunate thing. A simple sign of happiness is to have a smile on the face. We all know that. But we are so far away from that happiness, smile on the face, that a photographer has to keep his camera ready and has to make a request to you, please smile. How unfortunate that we are. And these days even that does not work. The photographer will say cheese, I will manage with that. You see? Why? Because at all these personality levels we have come away from our nature. At the physical personality level, at the body level, our nature was to be relaxed. Look at the children, they're so relaxed. When we were born, we were also like that. Very relaxed. But as we have grown up, we have picked up tension. Look at the children. Just a simple sign of the child to be relaxed is, any child anywhere in the world, you put him in the lying down position, the simple pastime of the child is to hold the big toes and put it in the mouth. Every child does that. They're happy. They become like a ball because the muscles are relaxed, joints are relaxed. Holding the toes in the mouth is not a problem for the child, it is joy. Relaxation is our own nature. We were also doing that. But you know, people when they grow up, they come to the yoga class and we say, come on, bend down, hold the toes, Padahastasana. Half of them cannot see where the toes are because of Madhya Pradesh. But even if you see the toes, those toes, as if it is somebody else's. No, your own toes. No, hands do not go below the knees. How can I hold the toes? But then you are putting your toes in your mouth as a child. Why can't you do that today? He says, yes, I can do the social service. I can put my toes in somebody else's mouth. See, we have come away from our nature called relaxation. At the prana level, our nature was to be slow, never in a hurry. Look at the child. No child anywhere on this earth is in a hurry. Mother says, come on fast. We introduce the speed in the child. Speed is the way that we have come away from our nature. At the mind level, our nature was to be calm. Children, they have no worry at all. But as we have grown up, we are worried. Agitation is the way that we have come away from our nature. We are so worried, so habituated to worry, that if there is nothing to worry about, we sit and start worrying. Why I am not worrying about anything? Not only that, we worry, we ask others, you also worry. In fact, a couple, husband and wife, came to me for counseling. After about 10-15 minutes of both of them talking, then the wife told to husband, you go out, I want to talk to Raghuram separately. Then After he went away, poor fellow, then the wife was telling me, you know, Raghuramji, my main worry is he doesn't worry about anything. You see, the others do not worry becomes your worry. You have come away from your nature. At the intellect level, we have wrong notions, we have fixations. This is right, this is wrong. This is okay, this is not okay. Have you ever thought about it? How many things we have just fixated? We have not analyzed all those things. I am simply agitated. No reason. We have never analyzed. As a result of it, deep inside, at the spiritual level, our nature was to be peaceful, calm, blissful, harmony. But we have come away from our nature in the form of disharmony. Can we come out of that disharmony? This is how basically we have come away. Look at the nature. The whole nature is in harmony. But then we have come away from that nature in the form of disharmony. The whole yoga is to get back to our nature. Asanas will take you back to the physical level. Pranayama will take back to your nature at the prana level. Meditation is the way that you come away from the mental level into the natural state. And Jnana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga will help you at the intellect and emotional level. This is how all these yogas, whether it is Raga Yoga, Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, they all take you back to your own nature. That's how all these yogas together will help you to see that you gain your own natural state called as the blissful state. Thank you.